Yeah, we rocking with the condenser mic. The Lewitt 441 Flex. You know what I'm saying? Well, something like that. Now where are we at? Where are we sitting? No way. No way am I gonna let that slide. No way. Man. My own voice has a compressor on it. Go ahead, take one of your good old hits. Did he do it? Man, I did that shit. Fuck that. Man, I'm just gonna sit here and talk to you guys like we're cool, right? That's how this channel's gonna be. I've decided I'm gonna sit here. You're gonna see all this little fumbling and all this and that. You can get the raw me. I don't care. Man, the editing and all that shit, man, that shit takes so much time. I gotta edit out when I want to take a puff or take a drink. For what? For what? You guys don't even give a shit. Ain't nobody gonna listen to me anyway. So who cares? What are we talking about today? Well, I was gonna do a video about, why I was gone and everything for this and that long time. Why I was gone for a long time and all that. But, I did that video. I shot the video. And then I decided, nah, you guys nobody gives a fuck. They really don't care. I mean, if that's something you guys want to hear and you want to see how I got out of, depression and anxiety and all that stuff, I mean, that might help some people. I don't think that's why you guys are coming to watch anything I'm doing, but I'm more than happy to share that with you. Just leave it in the comments. If I get like 10 comments saying they want to hear it, sure, maybe I'll drop that video. 25 likes. I want to be one of those guys. I'm setting the bar high. Okay? Because I don't really want to put it out there, so I'll set it high. I was going to say 50, but let's be honest. I barely have that many subscribers, so we'll just go ahead and just do it at 25. All right, cool. So what are we going to be talking about today? Well, I've just been, since I've been gone, I've been looking at everything that's been going on. We still got the war in Ukraine going on. We just passed the funding for that, so that's great. Sending all these billions of dollars over there while we got all these homeless people on the streets. We got the war in Israel that got started up since I've been gone. And man, I gotta tell you, all these people rooting for Palestine or Israel, you are some of the dumbest motherfuckers on the face of the damn planet, man. Do you not realize this is the shit the Bible talks about, right? This is the closest we've been to actually having something like the Battle of Armageddon happening. You have the United States highly aggressive towards Russia and China. China building up a huge military, getting ready to do something. Who knows what? Just flew another fucking balloon over, right? So they obviously don't give a shit. Yeah. And then you got Iran too, fucking with Iran. This is the closest we've ever been. World War II and everything was more over towards Western Europe. This is right in there. All this shit popping up right there. Think that's a coincidence? I don't know, guys. I really don't. So that kind of scared me, but I sat back and I'm watching it happen. And then I'm watching all these fools just bickering back and forth about it, whether it's whose side should you be on and all that. Man, this is not a war you guys want. It's what they want. It's what the elites want. It's not what you want. Because it ain't going to be what you think it is. It's not going to be just another war. That's not how it's going to go down. Not this time. So, yeah, we got that going on. Meanwhile, we got fucking war on our border. Got Texas fighting with the federal government, talking about throwing blows over the border. Meanwhile, they're sneaking fentanyl across, and they want it to happen. The government wants it to happen. They want half you motherfuckers to die from opioid addiction and overdoses, and they don't mind that there's fucking zombies walking around fucking Seattle, California, in Oregon, Washington. They don't in Chicago. They don't give a fuck. There's zombies walking around. Flesh eating. We look like zombies, acting like zombies. I mean, the only thing they're not doing, chasing people down and eating their face. You mix that shit with some bath salts, it's over. It's over. The Walking Dead is coming. And the government don't give a shit. They like it. Because that's less people that knows what the fuck's going on. Meanwhile, our president's geriatric ass can't even walk on the stage. Still having problems. Can't put a sentence together.
Because we cannot get reelect. We cannot win this reelection. Excuse me. We can only reelect Donald Trump.
And on top of that, he's too fucking senile to even stand a trial. This ain't me saying this shit. The FBI said this shit. And yet, we're thinking about voting him in again. Really? Man, you can't write this shit. Reality is way better than anything these fucking tools are putting out for movies these days. It is nuts. And all this got me thinking, well, no, hold on, one more thing. UFOs. The news agencies wouldn't, I mean, that was news aides back in the days. The news agency wouldn't even touch that shit with your dick. Because they didn't want to catch that shit. No, fuck, get that UFO, no. Fuck, no, I ain't fucking with that. Now they stroking it off. They down for it. That's when I knew. What the fuck is going on? That's why I asked myself that question first. And then I knew. These clever people. The ones you don't see. They're up to something. Now, what are they up to? Well, there's many things, but today we're going to go over one that all of us in the entire world can relate to, because we all just suffered it. Check it out. Ta-da! Here we go again. Let's see what this says. Disease X. This is how we should prepare for the next big virus. Now, who's putting this out? World Economic Forum. Right there. Yep. That's where we're at. We're on their site. And it's weforum.org/agenda 2023. And Disease X pandemic preparedness. Now, The fact that they're talking about this 2 years after what we just went through. So it says the future world needs to be better prepared to tackle. Just a motherfucking plane flying above my damn house. Trying to shoot a damn video. Sorry about that. You don't know how many times I've shot this video. Anyways, the world needs to be better prepared to tackle a future pandemic. Kate Killen of the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations. Fucking kidding me with that name. Seriously. That sounds like Dr. Evil's shell company for evil people. Tells Radio Davos. Now, apparently, I did not know this, but the World Economic Forum has their own podcast now. They want everyone to know what they've been talking about because they're at the point they don't give a shit. They know you can't do nothing about it. So, they have their own podcast. I might start listening to it just so I know what these motherfuckers' plans is about to be, because it's like a universal law. They have to tell you what they're going to do. Have to. In order for it to be successful in any kind of way, any meaningful way. But that doesn't mean they got to be loud about it. Most people don't even know what the World Economic Forum is at all, let alone to come to the website and see something like this, or even hear what they've even talked about. They might have heard that it was just bad and a bunch of elite evil people run the world. Oh well, nothing they could do about it. That's about as far as most people get with it. But people are waking up. If you're associated with the World Economic Forum and you're on the right, no one wants to touch you if they're conservative. Most independents, a lot of newer independents don't want nothing to do with it because they know that the World Economic Forum sets the policies for your governments. Then your government officials bring those policies back and figure out how to implement them. Great thing about the United States, pretty hard to do, but they've been slowly getting successful. The difference between our country and most other countries is we have a pretty stout system where the president can't just do whatever they want for the most part, but lately it seems to be the case they can. But on top of that, we have a separate judicial system and a separate House and Congress. So, and that's hundreds of people that got to pass a bill that have to get involved versus a very small amount. So, but they're bringing it back and they are slowly getting it done. So, what do? By mapping viruses with the potential to become the next pandemic. Like, do you think that's all they're doing is just mapping? They're just doing some gene sequencing on these viruses just to, get the genes so they can maybe produce something, right? Nah, this is, they're pretty much telling you that they are messing with these viruses still again. And it's pretty much come out that the last one was from a lab, got leaked. They don't want to admit it, but even the FBI said it looks most likely that was the case. So, I don't know. We're going to just keep on doing it, though. The hubris of these people. The global health community and governments can be more responsive next time. So by mapping the viruses with potential to become the next pandemic, they could be more responsive. They have to be more responsive than last time. Like pushing out a little, a little shot for you. In under 6 months, has never been tested before. Oh, by the way, we're going to shame you into doing it, and we're going to tell your employers that they should force you to do it. Oh, if you're in the healthcare industry, forget about it. You're going to do it. Never mind that that they might hurt a lot of people and they might have some complications, and the insurance companies might stop covering your deaths for myocardial infarctions. Myocardial infarctions, something like that. I don't know. I'm too dumb to pronounce some of these words, but yeah, they won't cover it. That, and if you don't wear your seatbelt, they put it on the same level. Why? They used to cover it. Why won't they cover it now? Because they knew millions upon millions of people got these shots. Bunch of people dropping dead early for no reason. Some of them just perfectly healthy, never had a problem, died. Sports athletes that are in the top 5% of people being in shape, falling over with heart attacks. Yeah, insurance companies said, yeah, we're not going to be able to afford this one. Hell no. So, when they stop covering it, they piss somebody off. So, global collaboration and adequate funding are needed to improve the pandemic and preparedness and ensure fast action to keep a viral outbreak at bay. Next time, we're going to lock you down quicker. Might even, go ahead and put out martial law. We got to talk about these things right now so that we're all in agreement. Martial law, troops on the streets, they're going to make sure they come in your house and give you the shot next time. We ain't playing around next time. We got a plan for this shit. So let's go into the article. You can get a long way towards being able to produce something that will target a novel virus before the virus even emerges. Bullshit. For one, you're already fucking with this virus before the pandemic even happened. You didn't have the vaccine ready to go when it happened. Or maybe you did and you just hit it and played coy with it for a bit. Maybe not. I don't know. Seems a little crazy that you guys had one under 6 months, because it takes years for them to produce these vaccines. Years of research, and somehow you got it done in 6 months. I bet you're gonna tell us how, won't you? Okay, let's check it out. This is how Kate Kelland described the sleuthing work that needed to prevent another pandemic of the scale and impact of the Rona. Robin Pomeroy on the World Economic Forum's Radio Davos podcast. Yeah, we putting it out there for you guys to listen to. Tell you what we're going to do. A former global health correspondent at Reuters, she is now chief scientific writer at the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, also known as CEPI. My gosh, if that don't sound like some sort of an evil organization, I don't know what the hell does. I can tell you what else it sounds like. Wuhan Lab. That's what that shit sounds like to me. I don't know about you guys. But she's also an author of the book Disease X, the 100 Days Mission to End Pandemics. You guys ain't ending shit. Nothing you did ended anything. It just burned itself out. Probably would have happened a lot sooner if you wouldn't have did what you did. CEPI is a nonprofit organization that funds research and development of vaccines against diseases that could potentially become epidemics or pandemics. The World Economic Forum, as one of its founding members, so it was founded by the World Economic Forum. They seed funded 3 successful COVID-19 vaccines. Ooh. So the people setting the policies, setting the plan for the world, setting the, global warming regulations, setting up what wars need to be fought where, what crises need to be taken care of when. they came out with those vaccines so fast. That's pretty interesting. Not to mention that, who is that guy, the head of the CDC, Dr. Fauci, was funding that lab. He'd funded 3 successful COVID-19 vaccines. Interesting. Wonder how much money they made off of that. Kelland explained it's a virus that we don't know yet, but we do know it is out there, and we do know it has the potential to spill over from an animal population potentially into humans, perhaps mutate or adapt itself, and then begin spreading and killing people faster than we can contain it. Oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. Especially if you guys bridge the gap with the gene sequence that, allows it to, be more viral or viral inside the animal, so you get it to reproduce quicker, and then it mutates more, and then all of a sudden you get a mutation that can jump to a human, and then it gets leaked out the lab. Interesting. What learnings can we take away from the vaccine? What learnings can we take away from the pandemic when it comes to pandemic preparedness? Well, if the pandemic that hit us, I'm trying to have to, dance around these words, right? Because otherwise no one's going to see this damn video and it'll never see the light of day. So I have to dance around this damn word that they pretty much banned. I don't know if it's still going on or not, but not taking the chance. If the pandemic hit us unprepared, there's every reason to prevent the next one from doing the same. Well, especially if you're using the Hegelian dialectic. You create the problem in a lab, get a reaction from people that you wanted, say it was from an animal or something, and that's going to spread really bad, and that everyone has to lock down, otherwise the whole world could die. And then you become the answer. You become the solution for the problem. So you created the problem, got the reaction you wanted, then you solved the problem. And everyone thinks you're heroes. All the while, you're the evil villain that started the fire in the first place, just to kick the door in and save the kid to look like a hero. Man, that story's been played out lots of times. A lot of arsons done by firefighters. So, it's interesting. It's almost like they're telling you what they're doing in your face. Just not quite that way. Like, what do they call that? Like a double entendre. Yet, research has shown that the world is still not adequately prepared for a new pandemic. You're damn right. Why would we be? Everyone was tired of that shit. We're done with that shit. Here's the problem for the next one. You're going to want to do some shit, and we're going to be like, hell no. At least 50% of the country, it was tired of that shit. From the beginning, 25% said, no, we're not doing none of that. By the end, it was closer to 50. Everyone was sick of it. I would even venture to say it was more like 70%. Even a lot of the left-leaning liberals were done with that shit. They just did some shit in public to make themselves look good, but they weren't buying none of that. It's about how we learn from what we got right and what we got wrong in the past, including the most recent past. Now, let me ask you a quick question. What the hell did they learn? Because it looked to me like they were, the CEO's assistant, and there was about to be a huge merger, and he had the secretary put together the whole thing, right? Like, just told him what papers to grab and whatnot, and she or he went and did it. Then it comes time to present that, and he calls her and says, you have to do it. That's what they look like. Like a brand new newbie up there giving a presentation to some of the most wealthiest and richest men in the entire planet. And She ain't never even don't even know the idea of how he was going to put that presentation together. And he told her, just go do it. That's what they look like during the whole pandemic. Let's see. First, to start off with the mask. Come on, people. Chill out. Don't go buy all the masks. It ain't going to do you any good anyway. It'll only help you stop from spreading it. But we gonna lock you down anyway, so you don't need them. The medical people need them. You guys just lock yourselves in your house and don't go buy the mask. Then it was, everyone go buy a fucking mask. It don't matter if it's a cloth mask. It don't matter if it's a fucking paper mask. Don't matter what it is. Then we find out, oh, those masks really don't do all that much. People are still getting sick wearing masks everywhere. Well, they're not wearing them properly. Well, no, maybe it's airborne. No, it's not. They're not wearing the mask properly. And, they're not doing all that. So then we find out later on, oh, it was airborne. It was through water droplets, like people talking and stuff because they kind of spit and everything. So just don't be too close. We got to be 6 feet. 6 feet back. That's where that came from. Okay. We'll do that. Hold on, man. Everybody's still getting sick. Oh, geez, yeah. The study just came out. It sits on the surfaces for up to 14 days. So that's why you got to sanitize everything. You got to bring in these air foggers and every day at work and do all that. Anywhere there's going to be gatherings of people, you got to sanitize it all the time. Sanitize everything. Okay. We're going to do that. But you're sure about this, right? Like, that's going to kill it? Yeah, man, if we do this, it's going to kill it. Hold on, man. People are still getting sick. This one person had COVID, was in this one room, and another person, they quarantined, and another person was in a completely different part of the house, and they got it, and they never left. Yeah, it does look like it can linger in the air, and if there's any kind of airflow, it can go through the vents. I mean, come on. You guys didn't learn anything, even at the end with the vaccines and everything. They didn't work. None of it worked. So I don't know what you learned, actually. What you learned, how to not look like as big of idiots as you were. Because if everyone believed the scientific data, I just heard somebody talking about this the other day. If everybody believed the scientific data as it was sitting and that's why you did it, yeah, I understand. But here's the problem. It didn't work. People still got it. People are still giving it. Masks, no masks, vaccines, no vaccine. Didn't matter. They were still getting it. Told you wouldn't get it. You had like a 70 or 80% chance of not getting it if you got the vaccine. Sounds like great odds, but really not that great. Like, vaccine should be a vaccine. Like when you get a polio vaccine, how many times you got to take that? Once. How about smallpox? Once. This other one, no. Now you need boosters. Because that's why you're getting it. Oh, it's a different strain. It's all mutating. Blah, blah, blah. None of it worked. It's about how we learn from what we got right and what we got wrong in the past, including the most recent past, of course. But also with the previous pandemics and outbreaks of disease. This includes the 1918 flu and the 2009 swine flu epidemic. Which really wasn't that bad. It was just really bad flu. That's all it was. Yeah, people died. Who? The immune compromised. The people with pre-existing conditions. Those are the people that do. She added that while the Rona was a novel virus or novel disease, it came from the family of viruses that had already been studied by the global health community. The viruses include severe acute respiratory syndrome, which is SARS. Now, what a lot of people had, because of the way they name this thing, SARS-CoV-2, which causes the Rona. SARS is what you all got. You got SARS. A messed up Frankenstein version that was cooked up in a lab, like some meth. That's what you got. Some bad meth. I'm sorry, that was a stupid analogy. Anyway, which created a global health scare in 2003. Middle East respiratory syndrome, MERS, and a number of pathogens that cause the common cold. That's right. Now, SARS itself, the original severe acute respiratory syndrome, that was pretty bad over there in China. That's why they started wearing masks and everything, and that's why you saw all that. That was killing about 3% of the people. This other virus was nowhere near that. So while we'd never seen this particular virus before, we knew a lot of its family members because you've been messing with them this whole time. We therefore actually had gained quite a lot of knowledge about the sorts of characteristic that this virus had. No, you didn't. You didn't know anything about it. You kept sounding like damn fools the whole time the virus was out. Scientists who had been working on SARS and MERS vaccines already got key information on the characteristics of the coronavirus and, oh gosh, I just said I might have to bleep that out, and how to target vaccines at them. So that's how they were able to get it done in 6 months. That's interesting. Oh man, this just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? Oh, look at this. I didn't see this before. How can a global pandemic treaty help deal with the novel virus? That's what we got to do now. We got to get the whole world in, and they have to agree. Assimilate, biatches. To facilitate the global collaboration and scientific work required to prepare for a future pandemic, Kellen highlighted the need for global pandemic accord. So fucking shit from the movies. She must have been watching too many of the Marvel movies. The fucking Sokovia Accords. What that treaty needs to do is set up a framework that allows us to be a couple steps ahead. So on financing, for instance, there should be a pandemic fund already set up and populated with actual money. So we should take money from all of you, the taxpayers, and, give it to us. And we'll just let it sit there. We'll just take your money and let it sit there. Before these situations come out, there should already be agreements about how knowledge and alerts should be shared. That probably is useful. I don't know. I know maybe you get China on that one. I mean, it broke out there. They could have shared. You might want to get them in on that. That might be a little tough. These are all learnings from the pandemic when the COVAX vaccine sharing facility had to be created on the fly with no structures and no funding in place. With the Global Pandemic Accord, a pandemic fund in place, Kellen pointed out, stakeholders would be able to react much fast. Stakeholders, that's what you're calling it? Oh my God. Don't tell me this ain't the end times. What the fuck? What skills do we need to handle it better next time? Accelerating the response to a new pandemic threat will also rely on a new skill set for the key stakeholders. Yeah, in the global health community and beyond. There are a number of traits, characteristics, and skills that we, as a world, have to develop to be able to be ready for whatever viral world can throw at us. And those are things like preparing to be scared. What? What? We have to pre-game being scared? Rather than disregarding a viral threat as it emerges, you could guarantee people are doing that the next time. Because you done fucked up and you let the cat out of the bag and you drug it on for way too fucking long. You desensitize them. Ain't nobody going to react the way you want them to next time. I guarantee that. And act quickly will be vital to preventing it from escalating the way that the 19 did. You have to sometimes take decisions when you have very limited view on what's going on. Maybe that meant make decisions when you have a very limited view on what's going on. But then the global health leaders and political leaders have to be able to take what we call low regret decisions, like called martial law. I don't think any of the decisions you can make could say they were low regret. This may mean pulling back if a decision proves wrong, and in retrospect, damage could be done already, too late. Or actions. Man, you know what this shit sounds like? This sounds like these young motherfuckers, at work that come in to run the company. This is what they do. They just make decisions with no information, don't think about the information, and then they just pull it back if it doesn't work quite right. Or what do they say? What do they tell you? Fucking make it work. You can't do that with human beings. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Yeah, telling kids they can't go to school for 2 years and now all of them are hooked on fucking fentanyl and shit. Right? A lot of them are severely depressed, have a lot of anxiety, and are taking any depressant and any other kind of drugs they can get their hands on. However, it's critical for decision makers to take risks because if you delay, you will almost certainly be too late. It's easy to say when you don't care about people's lives. I mean, just is. Again, preparation plays a big part here, she added, both when it comes to funding and in terms of decision makers being guided by experts. But then we see new clowns and how you were fumbling around. Who among you are the experts? Because no one knew what the fuck they were talking about the whole time this was out. Oh, I want to hear what they say we can do. How can we avoid the scale of it? Kellen pointed out that by extension, carrying out research and vaccine development, known viral families could impact humans, of which there are 25, would give humanity a decided advantage over the next disease. So please let us play with all of them and we can figure it out. I promise you. We're not talking about 25 viral threats. We're talking about 250 to 300 viral threats. We want access to all 300 and we want to fuck around with them, see what we can do. See if we can, make some vaccines for these. Come on. It is a big number, but it's finite. So it's not this kind of unfathomable amount of work. It is a vast amount of work, but it does have an endpoint and is doable. Here's the problem. Most of these viruses get out because of the lab. A lot of them do. Not a lot of animal to human transfer goes on unless there's some sequence that got randomly put in there through millions and millions of permutations and mutations. Permutations of mutations that could happen with the virus. That sometimes happens in nature. I mean, it probably happens more often than we know, but a lot of times it's them messing with it and it gets leaked out because someone poked themselves or something, or they got a little on the shoe, didn't quite clean. Just things happen. It gets out. Maybe they had an animal in there and the animal freaking kicked someone in, like it was a monkey, kicked him in the nuts and bounced out, climbed through the rafters, found a hole, who knows what kind of Mission Impossible shit. Animals be doing it all the time. They be doing it all the time. So who knows what happens, but it gets out a lot of times from these labs. To put us on the front foot, CEPI advocates for a global library, a vaccine library, What is it with these motherfuckers? Why do they always gotta name everything evil? Even though it always sounds positive, but it just feels evil. All their names. And then on top of it, they always we need a one world government. We need a one world currency. Now we need a one world vaccine library, they say. Wow. The purpose of this library is to build knowledge about potential disease X candidates, undertake the preparatory scientific work, and make the resulting information available when the new virus emerges. The idea is that the world should divide up that work. So yeah, just spread all these viruses all around the world. And if one of you guys fuck up, I don't know, like a lab in the middle of a market, just like hundreds of feet away from a market with massive amounts of people, it's not something that can be done by one institution or scientific group. When all of that homework has been done, we will possibly be quite a few steps ahead of any new virus before it emerges. That's not how nature works, is it? You can prepare all you want to, and then the universe is going to throw that one you forgot, or that one you overlooked. And if we get that done across all of those families, then we're kind of almost ready for anything that these viral families can throw at us. Why do we need to mess around with the vaccines when you could create a cure for viruses? Maybe you should be working on that. Cure viruses. I don't know if you could really do that, though, because from what I understand, your body depends on viruses quite a bit. So I don't know. I don't know. Plus, a lot of viruses cause cancer, and then they wouldn't have any cancer meds that they could give to somebody up until they die and charge them, hundreds of thousands of dollars and make them broke and not leave anything to their family. Yeah, I could understand why they wouldn't do that. Oh, man. So, Seppi. Here's an article about I think they're referencing here. It was written 17th January 2024. This is Seppi. This is their actual site. This talks about what disease X is and isn't, and it's not like they could really know because they don't know what it will be or not be. They're just talking about just some potential random virus that could happen. Here's the problem. We already knew that this was a thing, and the scary part is that they got us all. That's the scary part, to be honest. Because now, what are they saying? There's a whole bunch. I mean, there's 57.4 million results about me when I put in the search criteria for treating COVID like the flu. CDC. Similarities and differences between the flu and COVID-19. COVID in 2024 treated more like the flu. New CDC report comes out. Case of COVID no longer means isolating for 5 days, according to the latest guidance. Why? Why is that the case now? CDC updated respiratory virus guidance. Early treatment for COVID-19 or I hope this is just... Oh, I hope just saying that doesn't get this video freaking struck or whatever for misinformation, but you got COVID or flu may prevent severe disease in people at higher risk, even if they're up to date with their vaccines. So they're saying, yeah, they both kill. Here's another article from New York Magazine. Why is the CDC now treating COVID like it's the flu? CDC update and simplifies respiratory virus for people with COVID and influenza. That's the scary part. They got us. They got us scared about something. Now, here's what I found fascinating about the whole time period. 2021, no flu season. 2022, I think that was a year where the flu vaccines got delayed due to, I don't know if it was due to manufacturing because of the COVID vaccines or what, or maybe a shipment or something like that. But flu vaccines delayed. Somehow, flu season delayed. I put my tin foil hat on, and I've kind of thought about this for years. It wasn't just then. It was way before that. That's why I don't ever get flu vaccines. Because a vaccine to me, if I get it, I'm not getting that. That's why it killed me when all these parents were getting pissed at anti-vaxxers for not giving the kids the measles vaccines. Well, the measles was never that bad to most people. The same thing with chickenpox. Most people took their kids around they have chickenpox parties, so they get it while they're young, because if they get it as an adult, it's way worse. So, and then you could also find out if your kid was immune to it or not. So now we have the vaccines for these things, which, why are you taking a vaccine that might kill 0.001% of people? And the vaccines usually have a higher harm rate than that. A lot higher. Like around, it could be up to 3%. So why even take the chance? If you get a tetanus shot, you don't have to get another booster for like 15 years or whatever. But they're telling you got to have a flu shot every year. And with the COVID, you had to get it every 6 months. That's not a vaccine. That's like taking a shot of an immune system booster. That's about all that was. It's not a vaccine. It did nothing for you. You still could spread it. It didn't stop you from getting it. It didn't even they try to say that it made the symptoms lighter. That wasn't the truth either. People are still being hospitalized while having it, especially if they had pre-existing conditions. So even though they get the shots, some people ended up in the hospital because of the shots. Some people got COVID when they got the vaccine. That's not a vaccine. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I got my polio, I got my smallpox, I got my tetanus. I'm not even against the Hep B, the Hep C, and all those hepatitis. Once you get those shots, you don't need them again. Those are actual vaccines. Stuff like the flu virus and stuff, apparently you can't really make a vaccine for that. And that's what they don't want you to understand. They got the governments on board. Hey, let's try to stop having the flu kill people all the time. So you guys fund it so that they can just hand this stuff out at pharmacies. So that's why you can get free flu shots all the time. Who do you think pays for that? Shit ain't free. Think pharmaceutical companies are going to do that shit for free? Come on, get out of here. No, that ain't how that works. No, they got governments and stuff on board to pay for that crap. And now they have guaranteed money. And they keep just trolling. And they never guessed right on the flu vaccine. Never, ever guessed right. And every time you get a flu vaccine, you're more susceptible to the other strains of the flu. And that's why the flu season happens every single damn year. So your immune system's down on those other viruses, and they never guess right. That's what it seems to be anyway. It seems like they don't. I think I've looked up the numbers, and they have a terrible record of guessing the right flu every single year. So yeah, treat it like the flu. So if you think this wasn't very important, let me tell you something. World Economic Forum. These are the elite of the elite. They don't waste their time. They don't go to this shit. If they're going to go to something, it better be worth their time. You're talking about politicians. You're talking about really wealthy people like Mark Zuckerberg, whoever owns Google now. You're talking about those type of Elon Musk. I don't know if he's ever been there or not, but he's the type of person they would have come. Big up and coming CEOs for pharmaceutical companies and stuff. That's why Vivek was invited there, and he told him no. So these people don't have time to waste. They don't have time to go to these dumb. They don't have time to go to dumb meetings and stuff. So when they set up the World Economic Forum every year, when they go meet in Davos, the topics they're talking about are the things they're going to implement in the world. They're telling you, if they're telling the leaders, this is what we're going to do. So if you think that this is all conspiracy and that they're not really planning anything, well, here you go. Here's the actual video if you want to watch it on their website. You just type in disease X and you can find this video. And the just the rundown is, with the World Health Organization continuing to research potential so-called disease X, what novel efforts are needed to prepare healthcare systems for the multiple challenges ahead? This session is linked to the Partnership for Health System Sustainability and Resilience and Collaboration. I mean, this is what I'm talking about right here. This session is linked to the Partnership for Health System Sustainability. All sounds positive until you hear the words partnership and sustainability, then you know it's a trap. Probably another evil, corrupt organization pushing their policies on people. Here's resilient, and then here's the other one: resilience and the collaborative surveillance initiative of the World Economic Forum. I mean, Dr. Evil couldn't have did better. I run the resilience and the collaborative surveillance initiative of the world economics. Jesus. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Oh, man. You know what's even scarier? Here, let me look this up real quick. As I was researching this, yeah, 2024. What's this down here? Oh, yeah. Let me move myself for you real quick. Here, where should I put myself? Yeah, we'll just move this over a little bit. There we go. So, I got this because this was the most recent, July 10th, 2023. Where's this other one? This was when you first started hearing about it. World Health Organization is worried about disease X, March 15th, 2018. You kidding me? This whole time. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit the shit out of this video, I think. Oh, man. Wow. Anyways, the reason why I'm wowing is I forgot to hit the damn transition button. Yeah. I'll figure it out. Disease X. This is how we should prepare for the next big virus. That's what I just showed you guys. And then if you look right below it, that was July 10th, 2023. They were talking about this in March. The World Health Organization is worried about disease X. The WHO is preparing for disease X, World Economic Forum. March 2018. 2 years. Well, about a year and a half later. Boom. Disease X shows up. And I remember around that time, 2017, 2018, they kept talking, and Bill Gates was out. Oh, there's going to be some type of global pandemic. They tell you guys. They tell you. Yeah, so in 2018. So will we see another one in 2025? Into 2024 this year? I don't know. This was about a year and a half later. And what there's been some weird new diseases coming out. There's like some sort of another respiratory disease coming out causing pneumonia and putting people in hospital. It wasn't the coronavirus, so I don't know. Look, I'm just here to show you what's going on behind the scenes. I'm sure a lot of you guys have never even heard of Disease X and have never even heard of the World Economic Forum, but we're going to get into them and we're going to be talking about them because they're the movers and shakers of the world. Like I said, they write the policies, they tell your governments to implement them. Otherwise, your governments ain't going to get the funding they want. You're not going to get the money from the banks that you want. Your credit rating is going to go down. Maybe there might be a war. And your leaders are going to these. All kinds of countries are involved in this. They go, and these people, the World Economic Forum, set the policies. Years later, after everyone forgot about what they talked about in 2015 or March 18th, then it comes out and nobody remembered they ever talked about it. You might have the one genius guy that remembered and brings it up and nobody believes him. Well, now you could say that somebody was screaming about this in 2024 February or no, March of 2024. Somebody was saying that we might possibly have another one coming. Now, that might be one of those, well, duh, it's bound to happen type of thing. And I guess it's like one of them things. Will an asteroid hit the Earth? Yeah, of course, eventually. I get it. But it's kind of weird that they're talking about it. And then the policies they try to set forth to, whatever, that's what they did. Now they want you to respond faster and they want you to pay for it even more. Pay for your own boot to your neck. Pay to get slapped down, pay to go to jail. Look, exposing this stuff, not easy. Like, it's not easy to find this stuff. You have to be researching a lot of different topics and go down a lot of different rabbit holes to glean out what is just stupid conspiracy like UFOs. We'll talk about UFOs another day. That whole subject's pissing me off. No one's using common sense there. Anyways, so look, I know that it's difficult to hear these type of things, and it's people's cognitive dissonance is just a phenomenon that amazes me. No matter, you could even show them video, and when you see them seeing what you're talking about, you're looking in their eyes. Nobody's there. Their brain just won't let them see it, won't let them hear it. It's tough. It's tough. But I'm here to try to shake people awake. And I know it's going to be very difficult, but we can't keep allowing these people to keep stuffing things under the rug, keep operating in the shadows. We can't let the people who caused all of these hardships, it's in pain and suffering to all of us, started these wars. We cannot allow them to retain leadership or even be the voice of reason. Who knows why they do the things they do, but we need to talk about it, and it needs to be said. And this goes from local politicians, local police officers, all the way up to national levels and international levels. We got to talk about corruption, evil, and the sin. We are damn near in a holy war on top of World War III at the same time, on top of a civil war. We have to start talking about these things. And it never said it was going to be easy. It's going to be very difficult. And it's going to be a struggle. And it's going to take all you got. Peace.